Hi everybody, sanibonani. Welcome to my channel. Igama lami nguNtando Mdletshe, and on this channel sibuka ama-reality shows ethu ala eMzansi bese sizokhuluma ngawo lama shows, senza ama-reviews ama-recaps bese siyaphinda futhi sikhuluma nga-any other issues avukayo uma ngabe lama shows sesiwabukile kwi-TV. If it's your first time joining us and you really like our content, do not forget to press the subscribe button la ngezansi and the notification bell so that you can get notifications uma ngabe umsebenzi omusha sesiwufakile. Guys, you already know that I wasn't really doing the reviews of Real Housewives of Cape Town. I did it up until halfway and I got too bored. And I left it. But Umesi does lokhuzana. I'll try and post her review on my community post so you guys can go check it out. And she's really good with reviewing Real Housewives. And I think she did both the reunions, the part 1 and the part 2 of the reunion, because I couldn't do it in detail. Like if you're going to review the reunion, you sort of have to know to have watched every single episode so you understand the story behind the arguments, behind the craziness and all of that. And quite frankly, you guys, I thought we had the worst reunions, but this was like by far the worst. By far the worst. And it wasn't so much the cast, you guys, it was the host. I don't know what to I think that they should have just redone the reunion because it was such a disaster. So I don't know who made a decision. Yoguti, it was good enough to actually still release. Or they just feel like they've already paid him, they don't want to pay someone, and they should have redone the reunion because it was such a disaster, you guys. But what I want to talk about today is Rooksie. Number one, guys, at the beginning of the season, I didn't necessarily like Rooksie because obviously Real Housewives it's supposed to be about these rich women or whatever, having a lot of money, the house here, house there, car here, car there, whatever. Rich husbands, sometimes they are rich themselves, sometimes they have rich husbands. So but there's nothing that stops a housewife from coming not a rich housewife. Maybe you were rich and now you're not, or whatever, you are fighting to be rich. But a lot of the times housewives find themselves lying about their financial status to get on Real Housewives. And sometimes it's not necessary because not as people we can relate to people that work their way to financial freedom, for an example. So I always feel like they must have that one housewife that is not necessarily rich, and they are open about the fact that they are not as rich as the other housewives, and we can see them climb that finance ladder if there is a finance ladder, you know. But instead I feel like on Real Housewives they just want to present that all the women are rich, which is not relatable sometimes to us the viewers. And I didn't like Rooksie because we had like episode 1, and right after that the story came out that she was lying about being rich and having millions, and that there was a lady somewhere in Cape Town that allegedly was owed rent money because Rooksie had stayed at her house, never paid rent, tried to pay by giving her clothes because Rooksie sells clothes. And then after that disappeared on her. After she had tried so much to evict her from the house, she finally left and then never excuse me, never paid rent. And I think the rent was like what, over 45,000. Anganoma 45,000 gudida nalo ka Vusi yini. Hers was more than that. I'm a reporter by Shoganjal. So then the woman now is watching TV, who's thinking about how she's gonna solve this problem of a tenant that never paid money, paid rent. The next thing, Real Housewives, here is Rooksie there claiming to be a millionaire. Claiming to be a millionaire. And then the woman is like, you ain't no millionaire if you haven't paid me my money. And at the time the woman had claimed that she she had tried to call Rooksie never responded and all of that. So that was part of the reason that I looked at Rooksie like, I want you to tell us the real story so we can see you recover. If you're having financial problems, we all do, but so I felt like her story was not real because she was pretending to be something that she was not. So my interest in her and her life had just died down. I was more interested in the other cast member than her. But guys, listen, at the reunion, she did something that nobody ever does. If you do that, even on the Bravo franchises, like with Andy, if you confront Andy like that, we know that that's the end of you. Anyway, if you come for Andy Cohen, that is the last day we see you. You remember Carol from Real Housewives of New York? She confronted Dulona Andy because she thought Andy had favorites on the show, and that was the last time we saw her. So but she did something, because this host, not only was she bad, not only was he bad in such a way that us as the viewers could see they could also see it too. Number one, Rooksie looked really hot, you guys. I liked her look, I liked her hair, I liked her dress. She looked really, really, really good, and she was the one that was the most composed. Her and Love Line were the one that were the most composed. No matter how crazy Ntando was going, they were just sitting there, like ladies. So now it gets to a point where obviously there is that conflict between Rooksie and Nulu, and Rooksie is trying to explain what happened, and obviously she needs some time to talk. And this host obviously had made Thwala made the reunion about himself. It was about him. If it wasn't him talking, he didn't understand why he wasn't talking. So while Rooksie is still talking, he keeps disturbing her, like, we don't have a lot of time, we don't have a lot of, you can't say that to the cast member when we are getting the reunion. We can have 5 days, Rooksie, just talk, and it's like, we don't have whole day, we don't have a lot of time here or whatever. And there was this thing that Thwala was doing. Is it Thwala? Yes, where while they are resolving an issue, we're like, guys, let's just put this to bed. Okay, guys, let's just put this to bed. Can we put this to bed? Did you put this to bed? Are we going to put this to bed? And guys, everything is put to bed. He must like his bed very much because everything was put to bed. So while Rooksie is talking, is like, he talks about, he says the same thing, can we just put this to bed? And Rooksie is like, listen, I'll put to bed. Just like, I know, please stop it with the put to bed thing. I'm trying to explain the story. You are a host here. You are supposed to listen to us, not talk. I was like, because she said exactly what us as the viewers at home were thinking. Just shut up and let them talk. You can ask them questions and then let them talk. And you can't really, it was like a reunion ipele, like, you were paid to do the reunion. Just wait for them to explain themselves. As long as it needs to, it can take as long as it needs to. The editors will see what they do to cut and make it into the 45 minutes. Is it 45 minutes episode? Why are you worried about time? Hi Rooksie, kahle with the put to bed thing. Let me explain my story. Stop saying put to bed. Just let me explain my story. And also, you're a host, like he was a host. He was a horrible host. I hope that he never does it, the reunion. I'm not hoping that he never does other things, because then I'm hoping that he never gets another job on TV. No, he can do other things, but just not the reunion. It was horrible. But I like Rooksie that he reminded him, no, listen, you are here for us, we are not here for you. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. Like I said, guys, if I remember, because sometimes I description in Kotlin, but definitely on my community post I will put Mercy's review, because she does do the full review if you want to know exactly what happened at the reunion, or if you watch the reunion and you just want to hear the review of it. Okay, anyway, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Please like it before Pumegona, share it with your friends, with your family, and even with strangers. Ntando.